What is up, YouTube? Mr. King coming at you live from the studio. What we got today? Here are the Bellware questions. Happy November. Please pause the video now and answer them. Use your notes or the internet for help if you're stuck. Yeah, so if you remember from Thursday and Friday, we did go over meiosis, which is a process where your cells, mainly your sex cells, will make 4 unique haploid cells, which have half your DNA. So if you notice in this photo, one of the cells is mostly red. The other one is all red, so it has all of your parents' DNA. This one is mostly blue, but has some red. And then this one is blue, so it has all of your dad's DNA. That is what we went over on Thursday and Friday. Like, for example, here are your chromosomes that you make before crossing over, and here are them after. So part of the reason why meiosis increases genetic variation is because you now have new combinations of genotypes and phenotypes that you didn't have before. So now there are a lot of different possibilities of kids that you can have because of crossing over, you have new combinations of either like all of your mom, some of your dad, all of your dad, or some of your dad and some of your mom's genes. Remember, we do have a genetics exam on Thursday. Also note that student view is taking a while to load. Next, many students did not turn in all of their assignments last week, so please know that if you don't finish the classwork during the day, you do have homework. That's important to know so you don't fall behind. Today, you should be able to explain why you don't look like your siblings and also model how DNA is converted into mRNA. So we are trying to do a lot today. It's because we only have like a month and a half left of school. So here are the notes. Please put your name. And today what we're learning about, why are you unique? Not just because like your mom says you're special, but there is a biological reason that you are unique, you are special, and I'll explain why today. The first question you should know already, where do your 46 chromosomes come from? Please answer that right now. Next, I have a little math problem for you. So most cells in your body, they're called somatic cells, have 46 chromosomes. But so if you come out with 46 chromosomes and sperm plus egg equals baby, then how many chromosomes should your sperm and eggs have? Knowing this to be true, please try and do the math problem yourself and pause the video now. So you should have gotten 23. So if your body ends up with 46, then the sperm and egg should each have 23 to make 46. The reason is if your DNA didn't cut in half for a sex cell or a gamete, then your baby would end up with 92 chromosomes, and that would be overload. So that's why during meiosis, you go from 46 to 23 chromosomes. Since an egg and sperm combined would be 46. Next, meiosis is a process where your body creates genetically diverse, like genetically unique cells. So remember, as I'm saying these things, make sure in your notes you're filling them out as we go. So what is meiosis? Write in your own words. And then get pictures for when they put it. So get a picture of a sex cell or a gamete. So it should be like a sperm or an egg. And then get a picture of meiosis, like a simple one. So like look up meiosis simple. Yeah, and then find a photo. And then copy and paste it in. Okay, next, what is crossing over? To know that meiosis is only done by your sex cells. Everything else is doing something called mitosis, which we'll go over later. But your sex cells go over meiosis, which is where they take 46 chromosomes and cut it down to 23 unique chromosome combinations. Okay. Next, during meiosis, your chromosomes undergo something called crossing over. And it's literally just your chromosomes like this crossing over. And when they do, they swap some of their genes. So like if the mom's in red, dad's in blue, the mom ended up with some of the dad's genes, and the dad ended up with some of the mom's genes. And then you got a combination of both. So that's what crossing over is. Why it's important is because it creates 4 unique combinations of traits. So like for example, this chromosome 1 has all dominant traits. This chromosome will have some dominant for like hair and eyes, but recessive for these, and then the opposite for 3, and then 4 will have all recessive traits. That's thanks to crossing over. That's how you can have 4 completely unique chromosomes. So that's what I really want to hammer in today. You are unique because you have a combination of genotypes and phenotypes that no one else on this world will have, because even your siblings will have different combinations of your parents' genes than you. And that's thanks to crossing over this process. Next, write a summary in your notes and answer this question. Why are you unique? Use the vocab we learned, such as chromosomes, crossing over, meiosis, and sex cells, to answer why are you unique. Next, in class we took a break. And then I have a little riddle for you. So we're going to move to a different topic, DNA. So your DNA basically contains your genes, which code for all of your traits. So everything you are comes from your DNA. DNA is like a language that only has 4 letters, only 4. So here's my riddle. What are those letters in DNA? Hint, Gattaca, this movie from the 90s, Gattaca is all about DNA. So please pause the video now, try and think, what are DNA's 4 letters if the movie Gattaca is all about DNA? So if you noticed, Gattaca only uses 4 letters, G, A, T, and C. So those are the 4 bases for DNA. A for adenine, T for thymine, G for guanine, C for cytosine. You don't need to remember what they stand for, just know DNA, A, T, G, and C. And DNA is like your code. So if you were a building, your DNA would be like the blueprints, which tell the people how to make the house. Or if like you were a video game, the DNA would be like the code that makes the video game. Next, I have another riddle for you. So your DNA contains important information that cell needs to function. Your DNA has important stuff, but your DNA is trapped inside a nucleus and it can't get out. So your DNA is trapped, but the cell, your body, needs the information that DNA has to survive. We need that DNA's information to function. How can we sneak the DNA's information past the nucleus? What can we do? We don't need all of the DNA, we just need some of it. We just need some of the DNA's info. How can we get this DNA's information past the prison bars or past the nucleus? DNA is too stable, so we need to do something to it. Try and think. If you were able to, you should have come up with copying. So what your body will do, since your DNA is so stable, it will be copied into something called mRNA. So mRNA is basically a single-stranded, like a temporary version of your DNA. Here's a little cartoon. Your mRNA obviously doesn't have shades, but it is a little bit skinnier and smaller than DNA. It's a temporary version. It won't live as long, but the nice thing is mRNA can get past that nucleus. It can go wherever it wants. So that's why your body will copy DNA and convert it into mRNA. So it can move wherever it goes. So the whole cell can use that DNA's information. Okay. So in your notes, please answer. Down here, how does the cell sneak out the DNA's information to the rest of the cell? Basically, the cell copies DNA's info to mRNA, which stands for messenger RNA, and the mRNA can go wherever it wants, or it can go all over the cell. Since it's less stable, it is temporary, it can go wherever it wants. That's the whole point of mRNA. Next, what are the 4 bases for mRNA? Hint, mRNA uses a U instead of a T. And then my last one, I have a little sneak peek for tomorrow. If my DNA code for skin color is this, TACGCTA, That's my code. Then what is my mRNA code? Here is the key that you can use to crack the code. So DNA. I'm going to show you how DNAs convert to mRNA. So A's become U's for mRNA. T's go to A. C goes to G. G goes to C. So if this is the code, then T will go to A will go to U, C will go to G. I'll have you do the rest yourself using these rules. Okay, and then when you're done, please hit turn in. Please hit turn in when you're done, like these people have, and then take the attendance survey for November. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with me the whole time. Have a great Monday. I'll see you tomorrow.